Hello, everyone. Today we wanted to continue our study of market segmentation. Remember what that means is that most companies, politicians, whoever it might be, cannot market to everyone. Budgets simply don't allow for that. So, therefore, we have to divide up and define our market. And we'll come back later and define what a market is more specifically. But we need to define our market very clearly and decide who to market to and the best form to do so. So, last class, when we were looking at the 2020 election, we divided a market geographically. And we said there were 10 battleground states that both Joe Biden and Donald Trump needed to focus on. So that's one way you can segment a market and target them. Another way, besides geographics, is called demographics, and that's our focus today. So demographics is very, very applicable during an election, or it could be applicable for a company at any time. But during an election, both candidates want to look at the demographics of who they're trying to reach and who they can reach. Who's a fringe voter, who's someone who's for sure going to vote for us, and who's someone who's unreachable. And you decide, okay, who are we going to spend our money on? Who are we going to focus our energies on? Now, what are demographics? The geographics are based on where people live. Demographics are more a statistic about who people are. And what that means, I always tell my class, is that it's as you look at someone, if you just take a stereotypical look at someone walking down the street, you can get a pretty good demographic profile of them. So demographics are a statistic. It's not about their attitudes, their values, their beliefs, but it's more kind of who were they born to be. There's also factors such as income level, which obviously you're not born with, but it's basically a snapshot of looking at a person. Now, let me be more specific as I go down here and give you a couple examples of what demographics are. Examples would be age, how old are they? Sex, what gender are they? Income level, race, ethnicity, employment status, education level, and it continues on from there. You can see political affiliation, marital status, all of these things down here. So if you're Donald Trump or you're Joe Biden, you break down your voter base on these types of things, and then you market that to them effectively. Now, here's the challenge that they face is both of them have a loyal customer base, a loyal voter base. But if they want to reach new voters, they may have to tailor their message a little bit, and they may have to make some concessions or some compromises. Now, the risk in doing that is, do you alienate your loyal customer base? Will you lose some of your loyal voters? So the challenge both candidates are facing and have been facing basically all summer and into the fall here is, how do we best reach the demographics we're trying to reach based on these characteristics here? So what we're going to look at today is, who is the typical Trump voter and who is the typical Biden voter? And we feel like that will give you a good idea of how politicians and companies and businesses and brands all use demographics as a way to segment a market.